Today. I'm Michael Pusikian. I'm president of the Climate Reality Project at the University of Delaware, and I'll be moderating our climate action rally for today. I'd like to thank you all for coming out here on this beautiful Sunday on Lenni Lenape and Nanticoke land. But before we get started, I'd like to say a few words. So I remember the first time I heard about what climate change was. I was no older than 12, and I remember hearing on the news about all the negative effects that climate change would have on the world if we did nothing about it. Rising seas, stronger storms, and food shortages, and so on. I also remember feeling shocked that for what seemed like such a massive issue, no one seemed to really care about it nearly as much as they should. I also remember, learning this sad reality at such a young age filled me with a deep sense of dread that has only gotten stronger as I've gotten older. Seeing our world leaders not only ignore what the experts are telling us to do, but sometimes completely defy them was both infuriating and mind-boggling to me, even as a kid. Now that I'm older, with the same trends of climate apathy rooted deep in our society and our leadership, my peers and I are generally angry with the state of our society right now. If we do not deal with climate change, how are we supposed to have optimism for what the future holds for us and the world that we are inheriting? How are we supposed to sit down and do work that feels menial and unimportant, when in the grand scheme of things, it feels like we're staring down the barrel of a gun that's set to go off at any minute? We can no longer afford to go on and act like nothing is wrong. We need everyone who cares about the future of our planet and humanity to get involved and tell the world that a better future is possible. The reason why so many of my peers are involved in the climate activism movement is just because we want to grow old and live normal lives like the generations before us. We're really not asking for that much. We just don't want to see the world we're inheriting destabilized due to a lack of resources, a lack of livable land, and a lack of common sense. In essence, my generation is really just asking for a chance to live. We're all gathered here today for the COP26 event happening in Glasgow, Scotland, where world leaders are meeting to discuss reducing emissions and dealing with the climate crisis. Given the current crossroads that our world is at, we need to make sure that we demand that our future is a clean energy future. One thing that does give me hope, besides all the fantastic faces I see out here in front of me, is all the movements that came together and organizations that came together to make this event a reality in such a short time. The Sierra Club, the Sunrise Movement, the Youth Environmental Summit, and many more organizations were able to come together in a pretty short period of time and create pressure for our elected leaders to do something. So for that, I think we all deserve a round of applause. And together, we will give it everything we got to make sure that this planet stays livable and habitable for all living beings, and we're going to fight like hell to make sure that that dream becomes a reality. Thank you. So we have a host of